How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
One dish to me that really seemed to be the weakest link was that dumpling and chicken dish that Brandon gave us.
It's like 3 real elements of that dish. Neither one of them were cooked properly.
I was super happy with my dish. I mean, looks great. Everything looked good. I think it was really good.
Both Brandon and Natalie, for me, are at the bottom of my list.
You say lemon curd.
Want it to taste like lemon?
And lemon curd.
The cooking of the crust was a flaw, and the lemoniness of that
Well, it wasn't
curd.
cooked enough.
Yeah.
I don't think mine looked great, but I thought it tasted good.
Oh, it tasted really, the flavor was spot on.
Well, I think we have our answer. Let's get them out here.
It's Pack Your Knives. I'm Kevin Arnovitz.
And I am a very, very sad Tom Haberstroh.
I am a very excited Kevin Arnovitz because this week is the premiere of my favorite Canadian Jewess, my gay male crush, Gail Simmons, who makes her inaugural appearance on Top Chef 16 as a pregnant woman.
Oh, man. Man, where do we begin here? I think this isn't the first time. This isn't a Top Chef first seeing my number one. And for all the spoiler alerts out there, spoilers, I don't know why you're listening to this.
Is it understood that if you're listening to this before you watch the episode, that you've sort of relinquished your claim to a spoiler alert?
Yeah, I think so. So if you haven't watched episode 2 and you stumbled into this podcast because you just have it subscribed and it's auto playing, if you haven't watched episode 2, go watch it, then listen to this because it is a doozy. Natalie, my number 1 overall pick, is eliminated in the second episode. After winning the first elimination challenge and looking like a star, she is sent home packing.
Natalie, please pack your knives and go.
That's right. That's fine. It's good.
We just thought that there wasn't enough lemon and
I understand.
the dough was undercooked, but we'll see you at Last Chance Kitchen.
I understand. Thank
Great.
you so much.
Thanks.
Let's just go into it here, Kevin. The whole lamb thing that Eddie spent $500 of a $1,500 bet. And I know that he was super self-deprecating. He felt terrible and he was eating it and was like, I'm so sorry. But Kevin, Why didn't they just give back like $100 worth of lamb or $5 worth of lamb, and then everyone would get their spices and their lemons? I don't understand what went down. Maybe I'm bitter that Natalie got sent home because she didn't have enough lemons, which seems like a very cheap way to, why can't you just get a rack of lamb and send it back, save $20, and then be able to give some lemons and some spice to Pablo and Natalie? I'm just beside myself.
All right, yeah, to recap for our listeners who presumably have watched the episode, each team got $1,500 to do their family-style dinner for, I believe, 48 people. There's always somewhat of a constraint on the budget. They want to make it that you have to be somewhat selective. Though rarely, it's interesting, as many runs as we've seen through the aisles of Whole Foods, it's rare that you see this scenario. Eddie was going to do lamb loin, boneless. When they did not have lamb loin, needed to go to racks, which are considerably more expensive per ounce of lamb. They had $1,500. His bill came up to like $540. He's doing the main dish. And Tom, I think it's always understood the person doing kind of the showcase protein is going to spend more than the person doing, let's say, spoon bread or a side.
Yes.
However, you're right. Someone needed to say, hey, motherfucker, you need to make $400 worth of lamb racks look like $500 worth of lamb racks. You know, it's being served family style. Oh, you feel terrible? Well, you should feel terrible. Because, and I think there is, I thought Natalie put it very well. I think there are moments in the show, it's so fraternal, it's so, it's very communal. These are people who all share a common passion. And yes, there are rivalries and personality conflicts. But at the end of the day, you kind of see it having that lovely family-style dinner at the Maker's Mark Estate. These are people who genuinely like each other, but like you've got to you've got to exercise a level of assertiveness. And you got to say, like, dude, put one of those racks back because I'm doing lemon curd, which I think pretty much mathematically guarantees, Tom, that it requires lemons. and like poor Pablo, like, well, I've got chili powder. Well, chili powder is, it's a spice, but it's not a spice. Like it's a spice, but a stew requires something a little sharper. And there were errors along the way with everybody. Clearly Natalie, who, just for our listeners, went out on a lemon curd. The crust kind of wilted in the heat, or really didn't get cooked and wasn't accounted for in the heat.
That's a fair issue. If you're going to get sent home, doing your homework on the weather and making sure that would be something that would cook properly in the heat of the summer in Louisville outdoors. But,
yeah, there's no question, right? She was done in by a lack of assertiveness, on her part. And, Eddie seems like, by the way, I admire Eddie for his guilt-riddenness. It is a momentary thing. What do? You've got a minute and 12 seconds to make this call. How do you sort of contend with it? But
yeah, Natalie was like, I want to be a team player, and she fell on the sword and was like, you know what, I got to make the best of it. But then maybe we'll get to it later. But when she gave up her lemons again for a second time. But this was a heartbreaker for me because this is my number one pick. This is like selecting Anthony Bennett with the number one overall pick for the Cavs, and then seeing him basically out of the league in a year. And Natalie, I just felt like this was something that had never happened before in Top Chef. I was, for the second year in a row, every year that we've done this show, so 100% of the time, I have picked the Elimination Challenge winner in the first episode. Because, Kevin, let me just read you these stats real quick. The first season, the first episode winner won the whole thing. The second season won the whole thing. The third season finished 8th. The fourth season won the whole thing. 5th season runner-up. 6th season runner-up. 7th season runner-up. 9th season won. 11th season runner-up. 12th season won. 13th season won. The stats don't lie, but in this instance, man, it does lie. Natalie and then Tyler last year went out after 3 episodes. I'm hurting, Kevin. I'm hurting right now.
All right, well, let me ask you some questions regarding the probabilities here. As an analyst, and you look at these things as carefully as anybody I know in basketball, at what point does that number have to drop far enough where you kind of relinquish it as a reality, that it's no longer reality, that it's a trailing indicator, or it was once true, but the conditions of Top Chef have changed such that whatever advantage the winner had in skill, it no longer exists. I mean, is there a moment by which it no longer becomes a reliable predictor? We saw Tyler last year. You kind of got, I think, was that me? Or I think you got the first pick. I mean, you got screwed there too. And by the way, another guy who was just a fantastic chef. And, again, these do look like anomalies, if not for the budget. I mean, I don't think either of us believe that if she had a requisite amount of acid in that dish, that even with the crust, that it's Brendan not going home with raw dumplings or whatever it was.
Well, this has happened before. So in season 10 Seattle, Kuniko Yagi, she won the first elimination challenge and then was out. This was the Brooke Williamson and Kristen Kish season. And so there is a precedent for this where the first winner is also the one to go out next. And it's tough. It's a tough one to see Natalie go, but you're right. Maybe there is something, because this is a lot of front-loaded seasons that had a ridiculous run of correlation between the first episode elimination challenge winner and winning the whole thing again.
And by the way, she was a badass. Kaneko was she co-created Sona, which about 15, 20 years ago was like my favorite restaurant in Los Angeles. One of my favorite dishes ever. Like it was just a really elegant thing. I think she was married to David Myers, who was the chef, and they kind of together did it. She. By the way, a different conversation for a different day. That Seattle cast was just loaded with talent.
And maybe we're having the same thing here too, where Natalie, if there was some other people who just bombed their dish, maybe Natalie stays around. But hey, that happens. This is sports. This is reality TV. This is all in a competition. You're gonna have some really tough competition in this instance, and for all the things that happen negatively to Natalie, this was a tough one for me to swallow. So in the first 7 seasons, 6 out of the 7 were in the final episode. So 6 out of the 7 winners of the first elimination challenge for the first 7 seasons, they went all the way down to the wire. And so maybe this is a little bit of a front-loaded thing, that maybe the judges are kind of checking their biases. Once you realize, hey, maybe we're being too lenient, or maybe we're having too much of a first elimination challenge bias, maybe they're starting to be a little harsher on those and saying, you know what, we need to grade these people not on the past, but on the dish in front of us. And I think that might be what's happening, because in the last few seasons, the first elimination challenge winner has not fared too well. Maybe it's random, but man, that was... Kevin, I didn't get to watch the episode live. I had a schedule obligation, so I waited and I got a fan email saying, "Oh, I love your show. This is fantastic." And man, I got burnt by Natalie. Can you believe it? And I was like, "Oh no, did this just happen?" And I was like, no, maybe it's just maybe it's a total random thing. And I watched the episode with a little bit of a spoiler in the email. So I kind of had an inkling that maybe things went south for Natalie, but I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And the whole episode, I was just like, didn't do well in the quick fire. Didn't do well. No, wait, this is really going to happen. I'm going to lose my number 1 pick in the first few episodes again.
Yeah, and it's a concern because she will go into Last Chance Kitchen. And, I think against Brother, who's just a monster in Last Chance, as is Carrie, and Alabama Jim, but I worry that she might not work back. To me, she's a much better elimination challenge, despite going out, contender than she is a quick fire last chance. I mean, this is a woman who did laksa as a halibut ceviche with confit potatoes in the first episode. I mean, I was so excited to watch her cook. You could hear under his breath after she was dismissed from the judges' table, Tom say she was really strong. Kind of a la Tyler. I mean, this is a situation where just an immensely talented contestant is no longer with us. Eddie, who I still love, and by the way, might have made the best dish of the night. and it seems like he is legitimately remorseful about it. Has earned the nickname Eddie Money from his fellow competitors.
Yes.
Let's just quickly go walk through the episode. It was a very interesting quick fire. It was create a dish to sate Gail Collins, who is pregnant, has cravings apparently, like pregnant women do. I must be a pregnant woman because I crave prosciutto every single day. But they and what was very interesting is Gail, when asked to itemize her cravings, pretty much craves everything. So the contestants had to come up with sort of a craving pregnant women. And I was actually very impressed with Brendan because I think he identified for those who might not have been pregnant women, like, well, what is the kind of what's the heuristic that you use to say, well, is this a good craving dish? And I think the answer is it's pregnant women, people who are hungover.
Yeah, I think there's an overlap there.
People who are stoned, kind of all the same thing, right? Like,
give me some munchies. Yes, give me some flavor.
Yeah, and he did this lovely bulgogi bowl with Brussels sprout kimchi. It was really smart. It won one of the final 2 spots, and I don't know how your scoring accounts for it, Tom, but only 2 folks went ahead. Did they note who finished on the bottom there?
No, I didn't get that.
Are we penalizing bottom 3 quickfires?
We are not penalizing bottom 3 quickfires. All we're doing is giving them a point for being in the top 3-ish, and in this one there was 2, and then the win. You get an extra.
How do we feel about that? I mean, it's obviously something for our 3rd season of Pack Your Knives. Being called out for having a crappy dish, maybe should. We'll figure that out. I was thinking about that. Like we don't penalize even like a teeny bit for being a bottom 3 quickfire.
Well, it didn't matter in this episode because Natalie just went boom. She didn't bring it on the first.
And David wins with, I mean, and you know this as well. I mean, I think you and I have similar tastes. What is better than a ribeye with a nice crust, a nice salted crust? And he won the quickfire with a ribeye with a chermoula, which I love so long as it has no cilantro. Like, I don't mind ground coriander. But he goes full on North African harissa, chermoula with that ribeye. Tom, I'm a guy who's having more and more trouble with spicy food as I get older, and like what I love about North African spices is it's like kind of right there at the sweet spot before my colon kind of gets inflamed. Like North African spice is right where I live, and he even said like I'm going more for spice than heat. So I'm very on their chermoula as long as it has no cilantro. The chermoula harissa bandwagon.
Well, I want to point something out here because I watched this episode with my wife. We have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old daughter, and so she was watching with close attentiveness to what they decided was good pregnant food. Kevin, they all gave Gail very rare steaks. That's a number 1 faux pas for eating when you're pregnant is a rare steak. It usually has to be either medium well or well done. And so we're watching this, and I kind of had this inclination like, hey, is it like no sushi, no like raw foods, and if you're gonna have a steak, make sure it's not pink. And the first 3 dishes that went out, Kevin, were all like rare steaks.
Yeah, I'm one of these. I have some reactionary.
Did they only have steak available? Didn't it seem weird? There was a disproportionate amount of steak on this quickfire. It was like 6 or 7 dishes.
Well, Gail loves meat.
David was a high pick for you, Kevin, and he's been very excellent so far, but also a very big fan of Gail. You caught that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so you had an intuition that Gail was also, or David was also a fan of Gail.
So the episode then moves venue to the Maker's Mark, not a state, a distillery, the property. We'll call it the property. And it was a full sample of kind of a lot of the dishes we had enumerated in our first episode, kind of Kentucky style cooking. So we got burgoo, which to me is just roadkill stew. And I was very happy to hear Daphne call it Brunswick stew, because where I grew up in Georgia, like that is kind of the squirrely, kind of southern chili thing.
Yep.
And we got the full range of dishes there that were to supply inspiration for the family style Kentucky dinner. And that was interesting to kind of watch. We got a little more inkling. You get a little window into personalities.
when you kind of see the menu, everybody sit around, kind of declare their dishes.
This is like a workout, right? Like where a bunch of guys are, we're watching a bunch of prospects work out together, and you're like, oh, not only am I going to see what they look like on paper, but now I get to see their personalities. And I thought Nina, when they were trying to figure out what dishes to when they were separated into teams, I thought Nina came out as the alpha, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's somebody, and I can relate a little bit, who just doesn't like indecisiveness. It's like, what do you want to cook? I'm cool with whatever it is. Just declare what you're doing.
Yes.
Was sort of my interpretation of her persona at that table. It's like, let's just come up with a plan. Don't care what the plan is. Let's just come up with a plan. She might very well be an INTJ. I'm predicting this.
Well, Brian, also in that little get-together, that meal, he figured it out pretty quickly. He's like, everyone's drinking bourbon here, but I feel like this is a trap. And it reminded me, as someone who went to a Southern school in a fraternity, like when the brothers in the fraternity, when you're pledging, are being way too nice to you, you kind of have this little sneaking suspicion that something's not right.
Oh my God, boy, Brian, life is so weird.
It was so weird, man. Like when like a brother gets you a beer and it's like, hey, pledge, enjoy a beer. You're like, what is in this beer? Like, did you poison me? Like, is this like what is in this beer? Is it just stale? Like, has it been sitting on a shelf for like 3 weeks? And this seems like a nice gesture, but really you're just trying to kill me. So Brian has the suspicion that something's not right. So as they're sipping some bourbon and Maker's Mark, and it seems like a jolly old meal, I hope none of them got too drunk, because then they had to go and deliberate over their menus.
Brian is very funny. He is truly the Eeyore of the group. I kind of dig his game in that respect. He's like Charlie Brown. It's amusing. What was very interesting is during the menu planning, it seemed like the black team was the happiest place on earth, right? I mean, we watched sort of them come up with their menu. It's the red team with Nini, who's kind of contentious.
And the music changes. Don't you love that? I love the little editing, the production of just like the choices where after the bright and festive black team, everything's going smooth. They're just gangbusters out there. Then suddenly, like, the mood just turns completely ominous, and it was like dun dun dun. And I don't think they were artificially producing that. I think that it was legit that they had some animosity, not animosity, but some friction there in trying to figure out their meal.
Yeah, and by the way, we had in episode 1 we'd identified Brendan as sort of the designated asshole. I thought after the whole Eddie thing, he kind of said the decompressing thing, which is there's nothing we can do, right? I'm interested in the fact that maybe it's a credit to Eddie's remorse. Maybe they just generally like the guy, but there was no. I mean, I think. Somebody raised their hand that they were adversely affected by, the budget constraints. Who was it? Was it Eric?
I think it was Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, but they really could have.
Pablo, I think Pablo with the spices. I think he was in his confessionals, mentioning like, "Hey, how am I supposed to make my grandmother's stew when I don't have any spices? This is ridiculous." But like,
So there are two things on Pablo. I still think Pablo is one of the best chefs on the board, and so on one hand he is right and wrong, right? Like he's right in the sense that he truly, it lacked flavor. There wasn't a lot of complexity going on. I also think though stew requires depth, and you can't really accomplish that in 2.5 hours. I mean, shit, man, I don't braise for less than 6 hours.
Yeah,
it is a weird decision. I mean, decision making early in the season is so interesting to watch. Like, even in the quick fire, you go with farro. Like, or for that matter, couscous. Like, be careful with your grains in a quick fire. Like, isn't that like kind of one of the great rules of quick fire? Is time is limited. Anything that requires, whether it's stewing, whether it's grains, like that requires time, that can't merely be produced with fire, or heat. Like it just takes as long as it's going to take.
It's the risotto corollary. The risotto
corollary.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we are seeing some early kind of rookie, early season mistakes on that.
Wait, to back up for a sec, Kevin.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the budget thing? How do you feel about the $1,500 budget thing? Because when I was watching, it never really came up in last season when we were doing Pack Your Knives, where something catastrophic happened, where someone on their salary cap blew a third of the payroll on one of like 30 different ingredients. So like, would you feel okay if like Top Chef just like on the next few episodes or the rest of the season, they didn't really include like a budget constraint and the whole Whole Foods thing? Or do you think they have to create a challenge within the challenge with the budget thing?
No, I was thinking about this. Number one, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, because it is a great... They're very good at depriving, right? Like, hey, you can only use the things that you're finding on the backseat of this car. Or, hey, we're going to drop you in the wilderness and you have to basically kill your food or only take the crap that's in this little box. Or they're very good at providing these sand traps or setting them down on the obstacle course that is Top Chef. But I'm shocked that we don't see this more often, because it actually creates great conflict. I mean, you're basically now fighting for your dish. And I'm shocked that they don't make it more draconian, because now maybe they also at the end of the day want, we're the viewers, we want to see these really talented people when they do the close up of the plate with the little title card. We want it to look nice, and they want the chefs to be able to execute what they ultimately execute. At the end of the day, we're watching a skills challenge. But on the other hand, I mean, after this, I think it presents great opportunities to the producers to create conflict, in the most simple event, which is procuring the ingredients.
Do you think the lamb, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube? Like, do you think there's a rule that like once you get your protein from...
You can't put the lamb back in the tube?
You can't put the lamb back in the tube. Like,
do you brush your teeth with lamb?
What, is that what Greeks do? Like, I have lamb flavored toothpaste, and I only get it from the Greek market.
By the way, shout out to Otis and Penelope in Los Angeles. A place that I had a decent meal about a year ago and had a brilliant meal last night did lamb lettuce cups last night with pickled onions and a lovely like tahini sauce. It was one of the best dishes I've had in the month of December.
Wait, when you say lamb lettuce cups, is the lettuce is it lamb? Is it like a taco but with lamb as the taco?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
And it was I mean, I had a great dinner last night with someone from the NBA community, and we Otis and Penelope, which I'd always thought was a teeny bit overrated in the kind of Los Angeles, a fixture on the late Jonathan Gold's list. But man, did they just! I mean, the smoked and grilled half chicken last night at Otis Penelope was great. They did a beautiful charred broccolini salad with this beet remoulade that was amazing. It was just one of the best meals I've had, and a potential location for us, because it was kind of right up your alley as well, and really solid meal last night. So I'm just doing this now concludes the commendation for great urban meal portion of our show.
Here's another portion of the show. If you have a bingo card, or we need to come up with a bingo card for this show, because pressure cooker mishap is got to be on the bingo board. Brian really struggled with the pressure cooker. I feel like this happens at least 5 times a season.
I don't own one. I've never actually cooked with one. It's really interesting.
It seems like if you want to go, like I don't know if you've watched the latest Last Chance Kitchen, or maybe it was the first Last Chance Kitchen where Alabama Jim, basically Jim Smith, he says that he has studied every single episode of Top Chef and is as knowledgeable about Top Chef skills and trends and strategy as anybody. I feel like you should probably know how to use a pressure cooker before you go on Top Chef. It is one of those things that it's like running a pick and roll in the NBA. If you're a point guard, you have to learn how to run the pick and roll if you want to be an NBA player. Because I think it was Richard Blaze last year who said
unless you're Lonzo Ball, who doesn't really run pick and roll.
No, but by the way, he had a triple-double here in Charlotte.
I'm a huge Lonzo guy. Like I actually, despite all the atmospherics, I actually like.
I'm high-fiving you through this podcast right now, because me too. But like Richard Blaze said, he used to like go to the Top Chef or go to the Whole Foods and just like kind of scout out and learn how to sprint and do wind sprints. So prepare for the conditioning of going to Whole Foods. This is
going to Top Chef Combine.
Yes. We were discussing a Top Chef Combine, and I feel like the pressure cooker, figuring out how to use that, is very much part of the Combine needed to go on Top Chef. So Brian, you're not alone, Brian. You are one of the many who have struggled with the pressure cooker. So I just want to
we've talked a lot about the mishaps. It's probably worth talking about the successes. And the winner of the Elimination Challenge was Nini Nguyen, who is on your team. And I think it's important to note how hard it is to win a challenge with spoon bread. Because, Tom, spoon bread is basically milk, butter, eggs, salt, sugar, and like cornstarch. I mean, that's pretty much it. It is probably something that's very hard to do poorly if you have any capabilities as a chef, and probably really hard to do to win a challenge on it. I'm always amazed at like the people in Top Chef who can win a challenge with a side dish or a veggie thing. Or I think Dave in that first episode, right, in the quick fire, what did he do? He won, I think, with a non-protein kind of dish. And I think it always is interesting when someone can take something that really isn't a showcase piece. And I mean, everybody loves spoon bread. What's not to love? Again, butter, milk, eggs, cornstarch.
Yeah,
sugar.
it's like super decadent cornbread, corn pudding. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not something that you put 15, 14 really capable chefs, give them a budget, allow them to, pick your dish. It's going to be hard to finish on top with that. What the curveball, of course, is Nini comes with the shrimp etouffee. So she brings this savory New Orleans additive. And by the way, like I can't remember the last time I had cornbread or spoon bread or anything in that genre, and kind of had I didn't even think about it. Like, why not give me a savory dipping sauce?
Yeah,
because it is rich and it is buttery. What are you going to cut that with? Oh, I mean, it's like the minute she's like, I'm going to do a shrimp etouffee, I'm watching. I'm like, that's just freaking brilliant. Like
yeah, and the chefs were like, that needs to be on your menu. Or the judges, the judges like, that is a dish that I want all the time. Yeah,
right. These judges with between their Kentucky and Southern food experience, there's this general restaurant experience. It blew their head the way it blew my head. It's like, what? Anytime something seems so obvious yet had never been considered in the history of culinary tradition, it's brilliant. And I was just, Nini had a really, really, really interesting week. She comes out, as you say, as sort of the the tour director on the red team, kind of calling shots, putting people in boxes, telling them to make up their mind. Takes what is essentially a more elementary dish, certainly a less complicated dish, and then brings her personal New Orleans touch to it, and then just walks off with the W.
Hello, listener. It's producer Mays here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS. Hello, listener. It's producer Mays here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered with 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago. And I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
That was incredible, and she got emotional there. She was the whole range of what's great about Top Chef in this episode, and I feel so good that she's still on my team. Kevin, if you're going to do a power rankings of contestants going forward, I feel like she's pretty high up there, and I'm feeling good. Even though that Natalie's out, I'm feeling really strong with Nene. So thank you, Nene, for coming out on top, getting 10 points on the board for Team Tom.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the power rankings, what do we know now that we didn't know then? I mean, I think we know that, I think Eric, I'm looking at my roster right now. So Eric is a measure of reassurance. Again, he was on one of those teams. He suffered from a citrus deficit with his marmalade that was going to go with the Gabonese bananas. But he showed a lot of technique, a lot of creativity, conforming his tradition to sort of the rules of the game. I'm very, as a general manager looking at my roster,
I'm very excited about that. I've never been more happy about my David Viana pick.
Man.
Woo! I am just really feeling good about that. I mean, I guess I should be a little concerned about Pablo, less about he got screwed with the spices than, again, you just want to see good judgment. These are all great chefs. Do I try to go with the grain when I have limited time? Do I try to go to a stew when I have a good limited time? Do I try to put too many components on the plate when I know that Tom Colicchio has been saying the same shit for 16 seasons, which is you could take one of these things off and yet you still, walk up to Lucy in the football and do it. So I'm still bullish on Pablo. Eddie, I mean, frankly, other than just being an unintentional dick and taking everybody's money, I mean, the guy goes out and makes the dish of the night.
I know.
I'm still feeling very good. And I was arguing with a colleague of mine who loves Top Chef, who's just down. He did not have in his draft. Eddie went like middle of the pack, and I was very surprised. And he's like, I'm just not feeling with it. He's too jittery. He's too stressed out. And my reply is he has what Greg Popovich calls, Tom, appropriate fear. He has appropriate fear for Top Chef. He is nervous, but I think that nervousness, some people like to play a little nervous. Some people need to be a live wire. Not everybody.
I think you're talking yourself into Eddie right now. I think that's what you're doing.
I mean, look, again,
he was nervous. He went and dropped $500 on lamb.
And he had the best dish of the night. He nailed the protein. He nailed the flavor. For all
why? Because he got everything he needed. Everyone else didn't nail it because they were using dirt and rocks because of him.
Yeah, that ain't his problem.
It should be. Look, you remember a couple seasons ago, Jamie Lynch from here in Charlotte, actually, at 5 Church here in Charlotte.
Well, he fell on his sword?
He fell on his sword and said, I don't want immunity because I don't think I deserve it. Honor above everything. And Eddie... It's not like he could have quit and just been like, look, I deserve to be in the bottom 3, or I'm not going to come out and do my dish. But he had such a thin margin for error there. You have to give him props because it was like blood in the water and they were all great whites. Like if he slipped up at all, Kevin, at all.
And he didn't. So I think as a human being, I think someone needed to tell this guy, motherfucker, you need to make $400 worth of lamb look like $500. But as a general manager of my team, I'm very pleased with Eddie. That is my first pick, and I am okay with that right now. I got David Viana. Michelle Minori was a little underwhelming with the Benedictine. Who wants a tea sandwich? Oh God! I mean, it's like some bad thing you see at a British hotel, and like the Brits just discovered cooking like 10 years ago. By the way, very happy for Sarah Bradley, the local. She got praise, and you could see how much it meant to her at the judges' table for her authenticity, right? Those soup beans were just with the chow chow. By the way, chow chow, who knew? Spanning the Appalachians, kind of all the way through. But was very happy. It was very meaningful to her that she was on the winning team for the Kentucky Challenge. She went with a side dish that, frankly, isn't as appealing, I think, on the surface as a lot of this other. She's not getting to put up a beautiful rack of lamb. She's beans. And she nailed it. So I was very happy for Sarah Bradley, who's on my team. Kevin Sharp, after being kind of the runt of the litter with this corn dog banana with the peanut butter mayo, which Padma equated to a Thai peanut sauce, and there is nothing better than Thai peanut sauce.
It was it looked like a dessert. It looked something like I would love to order if I was hungover at a restaurant and just craving some. I don't know about you. When you're hungover or when you're not feeling 100%, like I do love a good peanut butter. I do. Like one of the weird myths or the urban legends about curing a hangover is a peanut butter like banana, like a peanut butter covered banana does the trick. And so he basically did that. And Vince.
Peanut butter is interesting to me because I just got back. For our listeners, we're recording this on Sunday morning Pacific time, early Sunday afternoon Eastern time, and both of us have been traveling. And I just got back from the Hollywood Farmers Market. I don't know if you've been there with me, but just truly my favorite hour of the week. All the greatest produce in the cradle of agricultural America. The Central Valley of California. It's all bussed in. I get the best of everything, and I do love kind of natural food. But I have a theory that there are a couple of foods that are better mass produced in preservatives and all the gunk than their natural versions. And to me, peanut butter is that one food. I argue with my mom about this all the time. She goes and gets that shit that the oil is sitting on top.
Oh, I know.
And it's
know.
not even, the consistency is not pleasant, and it's not sweet. And I'm sorry, but there has not been a natural peanut butter that has ever been produced that's as good as Jif, with creamy with preservatives and sugar.
100%.
That's just me. And by the way,
it's
you're
not
talking
just
to
you. I'm here too. I'm here
dude,
with
I
you.
order all my meat now online from non-factory farm places. I order all my chicken online from non-factory farm. I only buy produce at locals farmers markets.
Inject me with the Jif.
Exactly. Like
peanut butter,
the next
please.
quote natural peanut butter that is served to me that's any good will be the first. Give me Peter Pan, give me Jif. It is one of the great mass-produced. Some foods are just meant to be mass-produced with preservatives and gunk and God knows what else. And I just feel like peanut butter is that food for me.
So Vince at Uprocks, he's actually, we should have him on the show. He does a power rankings, Vince Mancini, and they're really, really funny. They're really good. Every episode he does a recap in the form of power rankings. And I loved his nicknames that he gives out for each contestant, and Adrian's nickname is NPR, and that just made me laugh very, very hard. He just says she looks like someone who would be like an NPR host. He says
we got to get Vince Mancini. Why isn't Vince Mancini on our show? We need to get him up here.
He says Adrian needs to cool it with the chunky earrings, mainly because I'm blanking on a good name for someone who always wears chunky earrings. Adrian made catfish. Who cares? Was just her write up. And it just goes on down the line. He thinks that Kevin, your boy, and this is why I brought up Kevin Scharf, he looks like Napoleon Dynamite, and I guess I kind of see it. But my favorite one of all the nicknames, Vince, is Hipster Joe Flam for Brian. He says
he is Hipster Joe Flam. That's Vince. Well done. We got to get Vince on the show. We got to make this happen.
Yes,
that would be a fun thing.
So Kevin, do you want to hear your breakdown of points?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to assume. Well, actually, no. You have the big winner, so you have you're sort of you're at the tails of the chart, and I'm getting kind of the middle, right?
Well, the interesting thing here is that the top in the elimination challenge is teams. So there's several players. So like the red team was in the top.
So you're telling me...
I'm going by the Wikipedia, Kevin, that we have done all season long last year.
So you're telling me that, like, someone on the red team with a cruddy dish did better than, like, Eric, who didn't have enough citrus and pulled out that Gabonese banana, but is getting penalized for being on the losing team when it was really this is an individual challenge
penalized.
disguised.
Kevin, this is the thing. You're not getting penalized. You are moving on, first of all. You are moving on in the episode.
No, I'm not getting penalized. I'm getting fucked. No, I just don't think someone who makes a crappy dish who happens to, like, ride the coattails of Nene, like, should get more points than... like a person who truly makes lemonade on a shitty team deprived of ingredients. Like, you know what I mean? I just...
It doesn't happen every episode. It just happens on the random, like, team top three.
I know. I'm over it. All right, I'm over it.
Okay, so Eddie gets 2 points for moving on. Pablo gets 2 points for moving on. Actually, they're in the low teams, but because you don't get penalized for being in the low, it's just they get 2 points for moving on. Michelle is on the winning team, so she gets 5 points.
And didn't she do she did those crappy Benedictine, right? I mean, she's my player.
Yeah.
And by the way, loved her. She needs to get back to doing Carrot Top Tagliatelle.
Yes.
Burberry.
Yeah.
Michelle, get back to doing your thing. Don't mess around with tea sandwiches. The Brits invented them. They're terrible, and they don't know anything about food.
David gets on the winning team, so he gets 5 points for that, and also he wins the quickfire challenge, an additional 3 points. Right. Eric was on the low team, so this is the gripe that you have. Eric is on the low team.
That guy just balled.
I know. Look. If
you're
going to
flame torch to them bananas and like not enough blood oranges, and he's just, I mean, he's pulling all kinds of shit.
Sarah was in the high team. She had a good day.
Yeah, she did.
She gets 5 points.
Well deserved.
Napoleon, as Vince calls him, Kevin Scharf gets 5 points for being on the winning team. Carrie, we're not going to count I'm gonna take the Last Chance Kitchen from the previous
Let's talk
week.
about, because we're going to talk about the we never talk about, our rule is we don't talk about the most recently eliminated contestants' last chance. We go to the week before. Do you want to recap for everybody what happened? If you haven't been online to Bravo's Last Chance Kitchen, very interesting structure this year. I kind of like it.
Yeah, so they have Carrie, Alabama Jim, and Brother on the show as returnees. And man, that is a murderer's row. If you walk into that den and Brother's not smiling or anything. He looks like a bouncer out there. He is just stoic. Like when they walk in the room.
The guy was made for LCK. He was constructed in a laboratory. Right. That guy he has some serious line cook, badass, busy Saturday nights in his pocket. Clearly.
Oh, you don't want to mess with Brother, man. You don't want to, because he is huge and he's intimidating. He doesn't smile. He doesn't give you any pleasantries or salutations. He's like a lineman.
He looks like one of those relief pitchers in 2003 who comes in throwing
Rich Garces,
like Eric Gagne type. Just you don't want anything to do with it.
Throwing gas.
By the way, Eric Gagne was so awesome.
He was.
I know he was juiced. I don't care. Gagne,
everyone was juiced. Listen, it was
there
a
was
level
a time.
playing field.
Can I go on a baseball tangent for 2 seconds?
Yes.
I know. All right, I'm losing half of our audience right here. Maybe actually 3/4 of our audience. But like when you were a Dodger fan in the early 2000s, this was a team, Tom, that literally its 1 and 2 hitters were Alex Cora and Cesar Izturis. Can you imagine the level of mind that puts those two people to lead off a major league lineup in a big market? I mean, they had an amazing staff. That was like a staff with like Wilson Alvarez with a sub-2 ERA, Ashii, but like there was just games were like 1-0 into the 8th, and there was just no pop on that team. Like JD Drew was never healthy, whatever. But man, you went to the park every night because you were going to get to see Eric Gagne come in. And like there was a time, Tom, I think there was like a 4-month period he threw 12 balls.
I know.
Like
and with the glasses and everything.
Eric Gagne was one of the coolest things ever about baseball. Anyway, that's my Eric Gagne.
He had the consecutive save record, right?
I was there the night, and my sister was in from London, and my sister has always been I'm no longer a baseball fan, and I swore off the Dodgers when they deprived me of watching on DirecTV. They took a rich contract. But my sister just never forgave me becoming a Dodger fan because we grew up Braves fans. And I was like, well, you got to come to the park for a 5 o'clock Sunday night game. Like summer in Los Angeles. I don't know if you've been to the park, Tom, but like sunset just at dusk. It's just a beautiful setting. And, she looks over to me at the 6th inning, and it's just a beautiful night. And it's a close game. And she's like, all right, I totally get it. And Gagne comes in, and he blows his first save in like 2 years. And the entire park goes silent. And then, like, it takes them about 20 seconds to realize what's happened. And then after this man has blown a save, everybody just climbs to their feet and just cheers what they've just witnessed, which is the guy hasn't blown a save like in a year and a half. Like it was truly one of the greatest streaks ever. But yeah, but that's Brother Luck. He's Eric Gagne.
I love it. You know what? You know that when you speak of the applause after he blows a save or he takes the L, it's kind of like the guy who has a no hitter through 8 2/3 and gives up a single.
I always love that moment, right?
Where the whole crowd is like, you know what? Hats off to you. Like that was awesome. Because that is a lonely moment is when you give up 1 out. You have 27 outs. You get 26, and on the 27th you blow it. It kind of feels like Natalie drafting her number 1. I'm over it, Kevin. You know what? I'm over it. Let's keep moving with the scoreboard.
Right. So the Last Chance Kitchen. Kelsey goes back and gets beat up pretty hard.
Caitlin the tomato biscuits.
Caitlin. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting my names mixed up.
Caitlin with the tomato pie, she gets sent back, and she can't vindicate herself there in Last Chance Kitchen. That's an intimidating group to go against. And man, Carrie is as bright and cheery and awesome and just assassin.
She is such an interesting contestant because when she, this was true when she last season. Tom comes over, what are you doing? Like, what are you making? And she kind of goes into it, and you're just thinking to yourself, and you can see Tom thinking the same thing, which is, this is not going to work. Like, you're crazy. This makes no sense. I mean, basically everything, you're going to do fancy toast. You're going to do this. I'm going to make the biscuits, but crumble. I mean, whatever it is. Like, and invariably, the thing that's supposed to make no sense, that just seems either like a bad risk, playing it too safe, not safe enough. Like, it turns out that it is going to be at the finish at the top. Like, she is one of the most confounding and interesting contestants, like, that we've had on this show in years.
She's the Mary MacGyver. She's very happy, just, like, like the sweetest, like, everything's fine. My biscuit's not really working well, so I'm going to do a crumble. I'm going to do a broken biscuit. And then just MacGyver's the situation and becomes the winner. So
I'm just a huge fan. And by the way, and if you told me, hey, pick 5 people, chefs from this pool that you would want to start a restaurant with, I don't know that she'd be on the list. Like, I don't even know that I could give you a definitive articulation of like her vision of cooking and like what a Carrie restaurant would be.
But if I'm going into space, I want her to be my
ad
chef.
hoc in her execution, and yet it always fucking works.
Yes. So Caitlin, oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Caitlin gets eliminated from not just the show, but right into the Last Chance Kitchen. She moves into the stool, the observant stool in Last Chance Kitchen.
Oh, the observant stool. Oh God, those people are held. It's like hostage camp.
I know. Especially for those with, like, I know Kelsey's not eliminated, but I just, like, if Kelsey went home, or quote unquote went home, and had to be in the observant stool of shame for like the rest of the season while her 10-month-old is sitting at home, oh man, that is crazy. But anyway,
they should give her a pass if that happens.
Right. All right, 27 points, Kevin. You come out with 27 points in your week 1 of the fantasy Pack Your Knives. I'm coming out with a -4 from Natalie a -5 for Natalie. She got booted from the show. We are not counting next episode's Last Chance Kitchen quite yet. Natalie with 5, Nene with 10, Justin moves on with 2, Brian gets in the winning team.
By the way, can we give Justin some shine? Guy drops all his damn corn and has what the judges call the most flavor forward dish on the table.
100%. I'm very.
We haven't talked about him.
Justin for me is.
He's an interesting
Eric.
chef. He's an interesting chef.
Eric and Justin might be top 5, 7 chefs on this show, I feel like, but they don't have any. They don't have any W's to show for it. But I feel like they're lurking,
hanging around.
Yes. So Brian gets 5. Kelsey moves on with 2. Adrian gets 5 for being on the winning team. Brandon has a strong performance. A little quick note about Brandon. I feel like he had a good bounce back from last week. He was the obvious villain.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in terms of personality, yeah. Like, I think there might have been a little, yeah.
But he was in the top 2 for the quickfire challenge with the bulgogi bowl.
Yeah, but then he made those bad dumplings and didn't have enough time to confit. Like, can't do a confit in that amount of time.
He didn't foul out and have 6 turnovers in this one.
But I do feel like you shouldn't make dumplings unless you know how to make dumplings. It's just a high degree. Like, you're a Michigan born. You've been cooking in, like, for tech bros for the last few years who probably eat a very specific kind of power and health, protein heavy food. Like, there were enough dishes presented on that table at Maker's Mark that if I'm not a person who has made dumplings, I don't know that I go there.
Especially early in the competition, maybe later in the competition when
also,
you're like...
it's dumplings. Like, there's so much margin for error. Like, all right, you overcook like dumplings. If you fuck that up, like, it is, I mean, as what's her name said, like, you're being very generous, Tom. I mean, he came, if not for the chemistry lab snafu with Natalie, like, he's probably home.
Brother moves on in Last Chance Kitchen. He gets a +1. Jim moves on in Last Chance Kitchen, a +1 from, again, we're doing the Last Chance Kitchen from the previous episode.
The man deep fried his biscuits. Wow.
Hell yeah.
The man deep fried his biscuits. Good for him.
Fried buttermilk biscuit with codfish gravy. Hell yeah. Love it, Jim. So I finished with 24 points, Kevin. You have the lead, 27-24 after week 1 of Pack Your Knives Fantasy. You're looking pretty strong. You still have I lose my number 1 pick. She goes to Last Chance Kitchen. I hope she does well. It was a tearjerker. It was an amazing quote that she had on the way out, Natalie.
Oh, great one.
If life gives you lemons, ask for more. I mean, come on. That was it. That was such a great parting gift from Natalie. That I'm still burnt up about it.
It was one of the great screw jobs of all time.
I mean, Eddie had to be perfect, and he was. That's the thing. The margin for error for Eddie was so thin. It was paper thin. It was as thin as Pablo's dish. It was. That was an impressive performance from Eddie. He's still inside his own head. He seems super nervous. You say that's a plus. I say it's a negative. But I'm going to go with
appropriate fear. Appropriate fear.
Okay.
By the way, in terms of all time, and I'd be curious what our listeners think, like all time great screw jobs. Like I mean, Kristen Kish. I mean, she ended up coming back, right? But am I correct? She got eliminated in Restaurant Wars.
And she went to Last Chance. Yep.
And then came back. But it was what was the context? I used to know this stuff. I'm losing my head. But but in terms of, I'm trying to think of like all time great screw jobs where somebody partnered up with someone, got thrown under the bus, or whatever it was. But this is one of the top ones, and I was a huge Natalie fan. I'm really unhappy about this.
Let's see. Kristen. What did she...
I know she went out on Restaurant Wars by like... You know what? I think someone had immunity, so that was the obvious person, and then someone else had... Like, it was just like one of those, like, wait, how did she just get eliminated?
You're right. I'm trying to...
I think it was one of the all-time great screw jobs. We'll have to look that one up. But
she did an almond cake macaroon and a beef bourguignon... What was it that she got? I remember it was a screw job. We're gonna have to look that up for episode 3.
It was a total screw job. I just forget when and why. There've been a few of them. And
it
was part of the
Restaurant
show.
Wars. Was she front of house or was she? No, she did the desserts. She did 2 dishes. She couldn't have been front of house, was she? I don't know.
Forget. We're gonna. All right. It all runs together.
Shout out to Maker's Mark. I am an ambassador at Maker's Mark, but I did not get a seat at the table at the Maker. Like the ambassador.
What do you mean you're an ambassador? Is that like a thing?
It's a members club for Maker's Mark, and every holiday season you get a gift from Maker's Mark. This year it's socks, like a funny dress socks with Maker's Mark on it. Last year it was like a sticker that you could put on any bourbon bottle and say it's Maker's. Sometimes you get earmuffs that go on the top of your bourbon bottle. It's just these Christmassy holiday gifts that you get every year. And the best part, Kevin, that's just like a throw-in in the trade. The best part is that you get to put your name on a barrel. It distills and it ages. You have your name on a plate. Mine was very long, Thomas William Kalakis Haberstroh. I'm sorry for all the other people with their names on this bourbon barrel, and it steeps there for several years, and then you can go to the Maker's Mark distillery, which it is as beautiful and picturesque in person as it did on the show. It is an incredible place. It's an incredible drive through the rolling hills of Kentucky. You get to take a bottle from your barrel for free, Kevin. For free, you get to hand dip the wax, the red signature wax.
That red schmutz, yeah.
Yeah, you get to hand dip the bottle. They give you an apron, you get the goggles, and you get to dip it in the hot wax, and it's one of the most pleasurable things ever, and it's great. And a Maker's Mark ambassador was at the judges' table for the meal, and there's like thousands of Maker's Mark ambassadors, and this guy won the lottery apparently and got to sit there for the meal. And I thought it was an excellent episode. I was a little bummed out with the level of drunkenness. I thought if you're going to do a Maker's Mark episode, you have to see a little bit of inebriation and people just do it screwing up because they drank too much bourbon. But it was an amazing episode. We're going to get some interviews. People probably listening at home. I want to hear some contestants. I want to get Richard Blaze on. I want to hear this former contestant. We're going to do that and stick with us because we will have interviews coming up. But the first episode, the first week where we had the episode up as soon as the episode was done, aired, that's probably once in a blue moon we're going to be able to do that. So thanks for sticking with us on the second episode here, a few days after the airing of episode 2. I appreciate everyone for hanging in there. Any last thoughts, Kevin?
No, I mean, no last thoughts. There's just a lot. There's still a lot to unpack. A lot of jockeying. I mean, I think they're half the field is capable of winning this tournament.
Any trade talk we want to get into?
I'm scouting. You will be informed when I have gathered enough intel to. There will be conversations. It's still early. Still early. But
wow, Eddie, I can't believe. Does Eddie, in other instances in life, does he just bite off more? Is he the guy who at the dinner table, the pizza gets put out there and he just takes 7 slices as soon as it hits the table?
No, that would be me.
No wonder why you drafted him.
Tom, we will talk next week. 27-24. It is nip and tuck. It is early, and this is Pack Your Knives.